Magpie's MN left a comment in my cognitive politics video. You guys are joking, right? Family isn't a good model, perhaps not the family you grew up with. I think this is a pretty straightforward point. I said it in my video that this is what Lakoff is saying. He says a nurturant family model, that's what we need to use. And there might be reasons that we don't have any option but to try to use that. But I think it's pretty damn clear that it doesn't matter how nice your mom and daddy were, your mommy and your daddy were to you, that's not the relationship between a Congress and the citizens, or the president and the citizens. They're not my mom or dad, okay? And the idea that they are, that's the kind of thing that why they withhold information, and the Freedom of Information Act can't really be truly enacted because people have this idea that they are supposed to be your mommy and daddy. But I don't care how benevolent a situation that is. It's not the power structure that's supposed to happen. You don't vote on who your parents are, right? You don't get to vote on that. It's not how the child-parent relationship works, all right? So if somebody wants to say something like this, which is slightly insulting, as if, oh, the issue is that my family wouldn't be a good model. No, well, my family maybe would be a good model because there's sort of there's some egalitarianism in the way we conceive of the family. But it doesn't matter. That's for family relationships. It's different when you have a society, and it's not like there's not other metaphors. The fact of the matter is, I don't care people have this emotional problem with, oh dear, to use an organic metaphor, then I'm just an organ or a cell, I'm just a cog in a machine. Oh, I want to be more free and individual than that. Well, whatever, your free and individual laissez-faire attitudes lead to this slavery and oppression of you and a lack of freedom, whereas the organs and cells in the body all share in the nutrients. There's no robbing. One part of the body doesn't rob and hoard resources when the rest of the body is starving. There's even a pecking order of certain resources. The brain might get more oxygen, but it's not going to get more oxygen than it needs while other things are starved of oxygen. The way resources are shared in organic systems is a far better metaphor for what we're looking for in a democratic society, because nuclear families are not democratic, and they're not supposed to be. The children can't just vote. And so tell me what role, how are you going to abstract your family? Okay, so you have the good family, evidently, that could be used as a model for the nation. So tell me how your parents mapped to my leaders, how that makes sense, okay, and how I'm like a child. I'm like you as a child in your family. That's how I should be treated by my government. I don't think you're going to succeed in that. And, I answered him and asked him to challenge us. Maybe he hasn't seen it yet, but it was a day ago. And it's like, it's easy to make a crack like this with this latent, oh, maybe the problem is your family life kind of thing, when you're saying I should be treated like a child. What more to it is there? I mean, I should not be treated like a child by my government. I'm not looking for that. You don't have the option to make me a child again and treat me like a child, and I'm not. And that's what's happening metaphorically here. So no, I'm not joking. The family is a terrible model for a nation. Organic models are much, much better, much more sophisticated, especially when we include all the, the biology and the science that we understand about how those systems work, that they are made up of individual little cells and individual organs, and all the nutrients and chemicals and how they're being traded. There's a lot of source, metaphor there. And it's just much, much more what we're looking for. We're trying to have that kind of organic cooperation where we don't get in each other's way, but we have an infrastructure that, keeps the temperature 98.6 degrees or whatever is appropriate, so that, we can live this life. It's not entirely in the jungle and free in that sense. It's not individually, because you're not just totally on your own. You're inside this shared infrastructure, so that there's clean water and all of these necessities of social necessities of being a human, a modern human, or even just a human. You need these resources, and that's where freedom comes from. you know. And in that kind of thing, you can step outside the system. You can say, hey, I don't want to be in the 98.6. I'm going to go climb Mount Everest, you know. You have that freedom because of that base, you know. And if you have a little problem up there, maybe you'll even be saved because they'll pull you back into the social necessities, you know, network and environment. But it's not because mommy and daddy are there to be good parents or bad parents or any kind of parents. That's not the kind of relationship that we need to have with each other on a social level.